Budget hearing, Supervisor Valadez.
Madam Chair, this item is really a continuance of my comments during the board budget hearings last year, where I made it very clear that budgeting and appropriations is the sole venue of the 5 members of this board and no one else. Some folks actually heard that and have understood what that meant. Others have not been as good. But regardless of what their actions was, this continuance, or this is a continuance of that discussion, in that I wanted to make sure that we as a board had hearings, and the reason why I wanted to make sure they were hearings, first of all, the board can act, the public can testify, and the departments and entities that are involved are to be here, and really, if they're looking for an increase in budget or looking to do different things, well, you know what, it's probably, I believe, a very good thing that they not only tell the 5 of us, that they let the public know, because frankly, I believe it was Chris that said the public has a right to know. And he's absolutely right, and I've made that statement over and over and over again. Regardless of whether or not the public agrees or disagrees how we spend the money, the public has a right to know. And that's a fundamental belief that I have, and I think many of us on this board have. So what I have suggested is that we have these public budget hearings after the regularly scheduled board meetings, so that the public, if they wish to attend the board meetings, can attend the board meetings. And then at a time certain, at 1:30 in the afternoon, we begin these public hearings that are strictly dedicated by subject to budget, where they can hear where the proposals are to spend budget county monies, and they can talk, and the public can testify as to what their thoughts are on those issues. This board can then act, and we do it all openly, we do it all transparently, and again, we have entities and other elected officials that can come here and tell the public and tell us how they're going to spend the money. So with that, I move approval of item number 3.
I'll second. Second, Supervisor Carroll. Supervisor Miller.
I'd just like to add that I'm appreciative of the fact that we are finally getting to this point. We're holding budget study sessions and the hearings. Excellent thought there that gives the public the opportunity to participate and ask questions and to testify. The thing that I would add is that I would like the finance director to be here when each of those departments comes in, as you requested that they have specific notification of who's going to be here when. Then I would ask the finance director to have a PowerPoint presentation like every other municipality does. I even went to an HOA this weekend and they had a 5-page PowerPoint presentation explaining all the detail on their budget for $5,000. So I would like to see, I absolutely agree, I think it's a great idea. That's why I put it on the agenda as well. And I think that the one other concern that I have is I would ask that you would allow that amendment to your motion. And the other concern that I have is if the board meetings go beyond 1:30. What would we do if the board meeting went beyond 1:30?
We would actually, we'll go
just
in
close
recess.
the board meeting?
We
Okay.
know, we'd be in recess on the regular meeting. We go into the budget hearing, and then we would reconvene the regular board meeting after the conclusion of the budget hearing.
My answer is going to be it's discretion of the chair.
And the chair has just,
And I appreciate the chair's input. And just the last thing that I, along with that is, as you said, every department head needs to be here to answer the questions. And I really think this is a great move forward for the board to do this.
I actually like your idea. Well, the question was that occurred in my mind, that you want to, because obviously that's an overall big picture perspective from the finance director. And it's actually a very good idea. Were you thinking to have that be the first subject meeting?
I think that would be a good start, and then for each department thereafter, as they come in, breaking it down by department, that we get that on each department. Every company I've ever worked for always did it by department. I used to work in finance in the private sector. I had to justify my budget every year, and it was far less than what some of these budgets are. So I think that was an excellent point to do it that way.
Okay, yeah, I accept the, and then,
I would just add, I'm not sure you always want the finance director. Some of this should probably fall upon the individual, the staff member who actually puts together the budgets. And that's not always the finance director, so.
I think Ramon revised the wording or appropriate personnel.
appropriate personnel.
Okay, great. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor that has an amendment, and does the seconder, Mr. Supervisor Carroll, do you accept the change?
Yes, I accept the amendment. I've always seconded these for public hearings on the budget. I'm delighted that Mr. Ballard has put this forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Carroll. So we have a motion on the floor. Are there any objections? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Moving